Wicky, say hi. Say hi to the vlog. Okay, so no long form video journal today. It's already late and it's bedtime. But there's a couple of things I did today. I went to the dentist, which I believe I maybe discussed yesterday or something. Here's a quick clip, something that happened at the dentist. Literally can't see anything. I have no idea if I'm even recording this, bro. What's happening? The dentist was interesting. It was really fun. Got my teeth cleaned or whatever. And I had this thing where ever since I was a kid, I didn't take dental hygiene very seriously. And it hasn't bit me in the butt, really, because I've got genetics for my teeth, whatever. But I don't like that it's like a failure of mine that I don't floss often enough, because these are like low friction, easy things. And yeah, I don't like that I haven't been able to master that as a habit. So that's something that I kind of want to focus on. It's not a very big focus because it takes like 5 minutes every day, but you know, I'm doing these video journals super consistently every single day, which is harder than flossing or taking proper care of my dental hygiene. But anyways, that's enough of the dentist. I went to the cinema today to watch Project Hail Mary. It is quite easily top 3 movies I've ever watched. The only reason I'm naming ranking number 1 is I don't really remember all of the movies that I've ever watched, and I think it's unfair to judge things because of recency bias and stuff like that. But there are 2 distinct feelings. There are a couple of feelings that are going around my brain about this movie. One, I believe it is the first movie that I've ever watched and thought, wow, this was perfect as a movie. It didn't have to be a TV show. And that is such an incredibly rare thing for me to feel. I mean, it's the first time that I've ever felt that way, right? Secondly, I felt so good watching it. I can't describe what it was exactly. Not like Superman, because when I watched Superman, I was like, oh, I want to be a better person. You know, it made me feel good, and I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it made me feel the same way as I do when I'm like locked in, and you know, I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, man, like I'm doing good. Like I want to be a good person. I want to make the world a better place, and it's not super common feeling that I have, at least not to that degree, because I do feel like that a lot, but not to the same degree as when I watch Superman. But it's a more familiar feeling. This movie was different. It's not bigger or better than Superman, but if you haven't watched it, I think it's insane to skip out on this movie. I mean, it's actually insane. Another feeling I have about this movie is I cannot describe my feelings towards this movie. And I almost don't want to. I feel like as soon as I start analyzing it as a piece of media, I almost intellectualize it, where it is sitting deeply in my heart right now. Not even my heart, it's sitting in my soul. It's hitting this metaphysical level of my being. And it's just marinating in my body. And I love that. Like, I don't want to pull it out of my soul and into my brain for me to like filter it and process it and intellectualize it and, you know, pick it apart. I want to keep it whole. I want to sit with it, let it digest in my system. And I think that's beautiful. kind of felt the same thing watching Superman, but it's different. It's a superhero movie, right? Like, I love Superman. Big, massive fan of Superman. Is as a character, or almost as a person, as a concept itself. But, wow. Something else I noticed, another feeling I had while watching this, is I was not paying attention to the cinematography. I was not paying attention to the writing. I was not paying attention to the acting. You know, I never thought, wow, the writing is so good, or wow, the cinematography is so... I thought, this is so beautiful. I love these characters. I just felt. I wasn't analyzing it. I wasn't picking it apart like I was saying before. I wasn't critiquing it, even like in a positive way. I was experiencing it. I was connecting with it. And what a beautiful, beautiful feeling. You know, while I was watching it, there were moments where maybe I shed a tear. Most of the time, it was just like my eyes were watering a lot, but only like 2, I think, tears were shed, maybe 3, during the movie. But there were times where maybe I didn't want to cry, but I felt like I should cry. You know, like my body was feeling it, but as soon as I recognized that I was feeling that way, you know, as soon as I realized, I felt it less. It's almost as if it was being suppressed, which is really strange because I wasn't suppressing it. Like, I don't think it's bad, so it's not like an ethical. I wasn't embarrassed at all. So I don't know what was happening there, but at least consciously, I wanted to, right? And not like, oh, I wanted to, but I couldn't. It's not even couldn't. It's not like it was building up inside of me. It's as soon as I recognized that it was building up inside of me, it kind of just went like flaccid. I had like erectile dysfunction for my tear ducts. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what it was. It was... It made me feel so good. Such a feel-good movie. It's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon, almost. In that, like... No, but How to Train Your Dragon still has elements of fear and stuff like that, which this movie didn't. The enemy wasn't even, like... There was no ops, right? There's this thing in stories... Oh, I'm doing the intellectualizing thing. No, screw it. There's this thing in movies usually or in storytelling where you want a villain. There is an op and we dehumanize it, and it's like this evil thing that we have to destroy and we have to kill. And this is a major spoiler for the movie, so please, I almost don't want to say this because I know some people will skip this and will spoil the movie for themselves. It's not even that big of a spoiler, but oh man, you have to enjoy it. You have to be able to appreciate it. At least give yourself the chance to. But there's this, in the movie, there is no enemy, right? Even the dots, what are they called? It's phage, because phage is to eater or whatever. Astrophage, star eaters. The astrophages aren't conscious and evil beings. They don't have evil intentions. They just want to reproduce. And yeah, that's it. That's their sole biological imperative, is to reproduce. Which is almost the basest biological desire, right? For a continuation of a gene, of alleles, or whatever you want to call it. That's what's putting humanity at risk. That's what's eating the sun. That's what's eating all of the stars of the system. So there is no enemy to rally behind, right? They don't see them as enemies, as dangerous aliens. There's just this life form that is just expanding. But they don't even call them pests or whatever. It's this very neutral attitude. And ultimately, the solution isn't to develop a pathogen or a way to eradicate them, but it's to add natural predators, to establish what would be ecological balance. It's not to eliminate all the astrophages and to genocide them. It's just to bring back balance, bring natural predators to the system. And I think that is, one of the things that makes that movie so incredible. We managed to make a story where you didn't need a villain. You didn't need an other. If anything, the other, the alien, became part of the in-group. It is such a uniting, a story so filled with love. I think that's what gets me. I think that's partially what gets me with Superman too, even though Superman did have a little bit of that othering, right? Lex and stuff like that. But there's no villain. There was no op. It was just humans and other intelligent life forms that were very much humanized. I mean, Rocky was incredibly humanized. Literally given a voice, like, so, anthropomorphized, even though it was like a living and conscious creature. But it was so beautiful. It's so incredible. I think that's so incredible. Because ultimately, that's a feeling I try to foster more and more, right? I don't think dehumanization is productive. I don't think the creation of the other is productive. Maybe in times of true struggle and strife, it could be useful to uniting people. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if we can abandon these things, which of course may be idealistic, but it's not idealistic, it's actually realistic. In reality, there is no evil. There may be bad or evil actions in terms of minimizing your experience or minimizing your experience, the conscious experience. But let me unplug this because it's making noise. Truly, it's a lot quieter. It's a lot better for you, huh? In reality, I have this Hobbesian view of human nature, right? We're just rational, deterministic machines. We act in our best interest, or at least our perceived short-term best interest. Medium-term with consciousness and stuff. But the true enemy, or the true barrier to the maximization of the self, is the environment, is systemic issues, is this deviation from balance. If we apply this concept of ecological balance to a lot of our other systems, such as the media, which is, I believe, a topic that I haven't explicitly had a long-form video journal discussing, but I probably should. It's so important. But if we had the same approach we have, and humanity is so beautiful. Like we nerve ourselves so hard by creating these outgroups. And I don't even want to come at this from a bleeding heart liberal snowflake perspective. It's not even like oh, everyone must be included. It's not even that. It's we are wasting so much human potential. There's so much love to be had, so much happiness, so much fulfillment to be had. And we're hurting ourselves. That story is so truly special. And I think this is one of the core components of it. Is the lack of the other, the distinct lack of the other, or, in other words, the humanization or the inning of the other, bringing the other into the inner, the in-group, the internalization of the other, maybe. So incredible. I think ultimately when we realize we are not the problem, it's not other people, but it's the environment those people live in, that's the problem. The system is what has to be corrected, such as the system is what had to be corrected in, most of the galaxies, most of the sun systems, the star systems, which was this lack of ecological balance. I think when we recognize that the system is at fault, we stop blaming ideologies like, oh, it's the capitalist system or it's the communist system. No, it's just misaligned incentives. It's just misaligned systems. And when we recognize that that is the issue, that alignment is what we need, that balance is what we need, I think is when we'll start to actually solve some of these problems. And my fear, I hate to be pessimistic. I like to think of myself as a very optimist realist. But my fear is that it's going to take a lot to bring us to that point. And the question is, how much human potential, how much love, how much life has to be sacrificed until we decide that something has to change? And, it's easy to say something has to change, but truly recognize what has to change. The systemic changes. And I don't believe that we won't be able to. I think we'll eventually be able to. Humanity can do literally anything. But my fear is that we'll lose so much before we get to that point. So much unnecessary life. And when I say life, I don't mean strictly speaking human, like, your heart's beating, brain life. Like, I don't mean people are gonna die. That too, but living, not just existing, but living. How much human life, how much human flourishment, eudaimonia, love, fulfillment, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm talking about. It's so heartbreaking to think about this. I would do anything to make this world a better place. The question is, am I actually doing what I could be doing? A while back, been the UK. I don't remember. Maybe 2 months ago or something, 3 months ago. I cried. Cried for the very first time in a long time. And since then, I haven't cried, but I was working on an article series, so I haven't touched it, but on Portugal. The decline of Portugal, the rise of Portugal, the golden years of Portugal, the decline of Portugal, and the potential future. And it was so heartbreaking to see the amount of loss that was incurred during this time. Primarily, what I was talking about is like civilizational loss, like what's happened to Portugal and stuff over the years. The amount of lost potential, truly, the sheer quantity of lost potential, of course, exists in a lot of other countries, but Portugal's my home. But also the idea that for a long time I lost this place as a home. I mean, Portuguese is my second language now. I abandoned the country. I left to go study somewhere else. Of course, I want to live in Portugal whenever I settle down. And I feel like this is where, the core of my life is. But I feel so guilty abandoning it and giving up on it when I did. And I guess the parallel to that is I see so much of that giving up day to day in other people. And honestly, even in myself a little bit. I hate it, man. We can never stop trying to build our homes up. We can never stop trying to help other people. We can never give up on the pursuit of the maximization of the self, of love, of fulfillment. It was such a beautiful movie that filled me with so much love. And it doesn't feel very good that the discussion I've had about it has been a little sad. And, a little more on the negative side, but that movie touched me, man. That movie touched me. And now I really want to make a game that takes place in space. That shows you the true cost of war and conflict and this otherization of other groups. Make one of those map painting grand strategy games that makes you not want to paint the map with your flag, but paint the map with love. I know how cringe and gay or stupid that sounds, but I truly, truly wish love onto literally every single person. And I think every single person is deserving of love. But now we're getting back to the Love Begets Love episode. It's late. I'm tired. It's been a 24-minute video journal, but I'm sure half of it was just me thinking and being silent. But anyways, I love you with all of my heart. And please never give up. We are destined for the stars. And I will not rest until we have conquered them. Not with the sword, but with the soul. I love you so very much, and I've just kept looking at this guitar scales thing. I'm just using it for white light. But anyways, I love you so very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.